Hi, I'm Jordan Mendez, and I'm here with Mr. Manka.
Yep.
And I just wanted to ask you a few questions about senior privileges and maybe also a few questions about the food ban
Sure.
or the Uber Eats food ban, since there's been some confusion among student and staff. So my first question, just to have an intro here, is what was the reason for the change from closed campus to open campus this year?
Well, it actually started last year, and it was 2 years ago. A group of juniors, approached me and really tried to lobby and negotiate for some sort of senior privilege. So there's a lot of red tape that had to be taken care of in regards of talking with the district folks and being able to develop a document that would be representative of the expectations of what our privileges would look like. We started at semester 2. It was only during lunch last year, but now our open campus for seniors allows our students to leave any period that they have a study hall or during lunch.
Oh, okay. That clears a lot of things up, because another question we were going to ask you is it only study hall or is it also lunch periods? So we are allowed to leave during our lunch period.
Yes, it's stated in the document, and if not, that can be corrected to be more implicit.
Another thing we'd like an update on is in the document it also stated that seniors would get a badge saying they were allowed to leave the building. Is there any update on that? Are we still going to be getting those, or is there a sign-in sheet that we should be using?
Well, there is a document on the website that's the sign-in sheet, and that was collected probably right after Thanksgiving until about winter break. That turned into a series, if you can hold that for a second.
Yep.
Creating badges similar to this, and these badges are obviously for vendors, but it would have a sign-in sheet on the backside, and there would be a logo and a graphic on the other side. So this would be for something similar like this for our seniors. The person who was going to create them for us, he retired, and so that process is now transferred over to somebody else. They're in the middle of working on something for us, and it's just been a little bit longer process than ideally taking. So we're on the way.
Alrighty. Another question I'd like to ask is, what entrances should students be entering the building from? Since I know for some students they're not quite sure, since they've been turned away from some entrances.
We want to be able to enter back into the building where we've got adult monitoring. So right now, where we have adults monitoring on a regular basis are our front door, is the trophy case door, that bank of glass doors, and then even should it be so on the north driveway down at the cul-de-sac entrance on 7, those are where we've got adults.
Thank you.
And the reason for that is because we've got a lot of exterior doors. We all know that, and sometimes those exterior doors don't shut properly or remain shut. So we don't want doors ajar all over the place. It's about safety.
Is there a correlation between student absences and the new introduction of open campus? A lot of people think there has been more absences, and if you do think there's a correlation, how do you intend to solve that?
Oh, that's an interesting observation. I would say that it's certainly too small a sample size to make any sort of determination of correlation. The need for and the analysis of data would have to be done responsibly. Absenteeism and or tardiness is often cohort related. So to make an assumption that open campus for seniors is going to somehow be a direct correlation to school-wide absenteeism would be irresponsible. So might it exist? It may. But for us to do an analysis of various cohorts over the last several years would be essential. So I'm not opposed to, and that's something we do frequently, but it's certainly too premature to make certain there's any sort of correlation.
Okay, thank you. And then my next question for you could be, could we have some clarification on the food ban when it comes to ordering food to the school? So is it just that ordering food to the school isn't allowed, or are we not allowed to have outside food come into the school?
Food deliveries are banned, and that's a Stanford Public Schools initiative. That's not necessarily something that originated from Ray Manka at Stanford High School. I will tell you that there were plenty of complaints from various people, including students, parents, teachers, over the last year or so, that it became a big distraction, particularly during lunch periods, where kids started to talk about where are we ordering food from, who's going to pay for the food, who's going to leave to get the food, who's outside waiting for the food, who's eating food in class in front of other kids who are then also hungry or wanting to do the same thing. So it became very disruptive to the teaching and learning process. And it wasn't just here. So that's something that became an issue across our Stanford public schools. I started to talk to other school districts before this all went down, and I go to a Lower Fairfield County principals meeting once a month. So that includes schools as Greenwich, New Canaan, Darien, Ridgefield, the Norwalks, Fairfields, all the principals in this area. They all have the same ban, and really it all stems down to there's too many random people who are potentially coming into our buildings, waiting outside of our buildings. Not knowing the entry and exit protocols of our schools, people opening doors, doors don't shut properly. We want to know who's in our building. We want to trust who's in our building, and removing uncertainty of who these people are or when they might be here or how it might disrupt the teaching and learning process. I support that.
Okay. So just for a little clarification on this, if we chose to use our senior privilege to get food from an outside source and then come back to the building, is outside food allowed in the building?
That would be okay. I will tell you, however, that we do need to have a collaborative effort here. If you were to leave, go down to John's and grab a slice of pizza. I'm not promoting John's. I get no endorsement from John's. But if you were to bring that back here, we have to be very responsible about how we manage our trash. We have to be this observation that I've made over the last 2 years particularly is we get a little bit sloppy when it comes to the materials that we leave around. So it's our own responsibility to make sure that we keep this building safe, it's clean. People walk in here, we want this to be a respectable place. This is our house. We're often here at this school more hours out of the day than we might be at our own home. So we've got to treat it with respect, we got to treat it with pride, and I just ask that if anybody's eating anything at any point of the day, breakfast, find a trash receptacle or a trash bin. And if we need more, then let me know, and we can figure out where to put them so it's most advantageous for what we're doing and where we're eating. But that's one of the reasons we also are looking to try to keep lunch in the cafeteria, because if it leaves, it's left, and it's left everywhere. So we just need to be responsible about that, and I ask for your help to do that.
Okay. And then my last question for you is from some of the juniors. Do you think they would ever be allowed to leave for study hall if they have a study hall? And if not, why do you think it's exclusively a senior privilege?
Well, it's exclusively a senior privilege because there were none when I began here 5 years ago. And it was a group of juniors that tried to advocate, sat down, did all the legwork, did all the research, crafted the documents, edited the documents. They're responsible for this. So it was something that I thought was developing, not just research and communication and sitting down and being responsible for trying to champion change. I respected that, and no group of sophomores or juniors had come to me ever and tried to do the same thing. Recently, there had been some people who approached me on social media, and I'm certainly willing to talk to a group of sophomores or juniors who are interested in doing something similar. And I'm not opposed to being able to offer this for the 2021 school year. And that actually would couple nicely with the schedule change that's prospect to join Stanford High School for the next school year. It would work almost synergistically to allow our juniors to have that opportunity. But that's documentation and paperwork that we'd have to go through, present to the board. It's lengthy. It's a couple months of us getting approval. So not opposed. It's just we haven't started the process yet.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, and thank you for the clarification on everything.
Sure.